Welcome to TOMMO'S Race CHINWAG, your favourite Formula 1 podcast produced by a British biased bloke with a massive Swede full of very questionable wheel knowledge. Broadcast live on YouTube and after the fact on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We have a good old natter about each and every Grand Prix of the season. My name's Tommo, let's talk about it. Alpine Be Normal Challenge, difficulty impossible. This is not a drill. Oli Oakes has left the team. I can't believe it. I should not be surprised because this is Alpine, a team that appears to be pretty chaotic in nature. And when I say that, I very much say that towards the senior team, Alpine at Enstone, because, yeah, man, you got to feel for the staff because it's been a hell of a ride the last 5-6 years where they've got through basically a team principal a year. And the latest in a long line of Alpine team principal departures is Oli Oakes. And he resigned. He decided it wasn't for him. I mean, revolving door, Dutchman nails it. It's a mess. It's chaos. And actually, you know what? In honour of Alpine, let's get some blue in the background. Or actually, maybe that blue. That blue's better. There we go. Bosh. We're going to have blue backgrounds in honour of Alpine, in honour of Oli Oakes resigning. Today I've been working on a script for a video. Went to the range, hit some balls, not very well. Bad range session for me today, but that's the game of golf. And I come home and I hear Hannah in the other room being like, someone's resigned. The team principal's resigned. I'm like, a team principal's resigned? Like, no one immediately came to mind. And then she said, Oli Oakes, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. What is happening? What? Okay, right. This is one of those chaotic emergency streams that we're just going to spitball it, okay? Also, if you are here in the live chat, please get thinking your speculative thoughts as to why this might have happened, because we are going to make a list of reasons why Oli Oakes might have resigned from Alpine, because we don't know. Okay, we don't know. There is a team statement from Alpine. That is definitely the wrong overlay. We're not looking at bangers and clangers today, I'm afraid. We are definitely looking at Oli Oakes resigning from Alpine. This is the statement from the team. BWT Alpine Formula 1 team announces that Oli Oakes has resigned from his role as team principal. It's not a drill. The team has accepted his resignation with immediate effect. As of today, Flavio Briatore, shock, will continue as executive advisor and will also be covering the duties previously performed by Oliver Oakes. The team would like to thank Oli for his efforts since he joined last summer. It's not even been a year. Shock. Alpine, stop. Be normal. What? I can't. Sorry, I'm meant to be reading this statement. I just can't believe this team. I can't believe this team. The team would like to thank Oli for his efforts since he joined last summer and for his contribution in helping the team secure 6th place in the 24 Constructors' Championship. The team will not be making any further comments. Silence. This is... Well, you say they are being normal by their own standards, but not by the standards of anybody else, seemingly. I just can't... Look, I mean, clearly you have to go to the Doohan situation. Jack Doohan is all but confirmed he will not be racing for that team in Imola. And you have to look at it, don't you? And think, well, is that a coincidence that this almost official but not quite official news, it's been, published by everyone that Doohan's going to be out the car. And now the team principal resigns when you have Flavio in there as the kind of middleman between Oli Oakes and Luca Di Maio. We know Flav's cutthroat. We know he's old school. We know he splits opinion. For him to resign on the spot, for Oli to resign on the spot, immediate effect, just gone, bosh, job done, out you go. You've got to assume that is surely the safest assumption, okay, at this early stage, is that, in terms of reasons why Oli Oakes might have resigned from Alpine, is that he disagreed, I can't type, with the decision to replace Doohan with Colapinto. You know, that seems, that is the automatic assertion that everyone is going to be going to. Because of course it is. Now, Colapinto has been in the picture, obviously, since kind of the end of last year, start of this year. And obviously Williams put the statement out saying, you know, that was, Alpine was Colapinto's best chance at a race seat. And we don't know the ins and outs of who signed Colapinto. Colapinto's done TPC running. I personally find it hard to believe that if Colapinto, and I could be wrong here, again, this is a speculative list. This is all speculation. But the idea that Oli is so against the decision to replace Jack with Colapinto that he would resign, like he's that against it, tells me that it's probably not this in isolation. Again, speculative cap on here. My big white speculative cap on right now. My golfing hat. Like, that in isolation, I don't think is... Of course, my internet's playing up because now I've got Briatore DDoS in me. Even when we're doing emergency news, the stream just keeps buffering. The stream just keeps buffering. I saw this, Alita, right? So this is a rumor. Horner is being pushed out of Red Bull, and they want Oakes. Now, I've seen this rumor on Twitter. I don't think there's anything. I don't attribute much realism to this rumor. But again, if the team aren't going to put a statement out, then yeah, I agree. I don't think this is legit. But I'm putting everything down. Okay, there's no incorrect answers for reasons why Oli Oakes might have resigned from Alpine. Oh dear. I think we can also, just put general power dispute amongst Oakes, Briatore, and Di Maio. Again, I think for it to be the Doohan Colapinto decision, which again is all but official, in isolation, I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised if it is that in isolation. Like, are there any other suggestions? Oscar Piastri wants to be Alpine team principal. Oh, Doa, maybe Flavio got tired of Oakes' bad hair. I mean, look, listen. Let's not start pulling people up on their hairlines, right? There's a reason I'm wearing a hat right now. Okay, Doha. Cadillac. So Cadillac want Oakes. I mean, highly unlikely because they already have a team principal. So, you know what? No, I don't think that's... Omar wants to come back. There's come on now. Let's be... Otmar just out of nowhere just burst through the door. I'm back. The return of Otmar. Yeah, so there was the talk of high tech when Oakes obviously took the position. High tech potentially wanting so maybe that is high tech interest in buying the team amounts to nothing. Maybe high-tech interest in the team amounts to nothing. Again, it feels like it's too much of a coincidence for it to not be directly connected to the doing Colapinto news that isn't confirmed yet, but is almost certainly confirmed. Oakes is the new Pope. Oakes, listen, today should have been all about the second Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, and Alpine decided, no, we want to be the... Well, actually, to be fair, it was Oli who decided, because it's Oli the one who's resigned himself, I just can't with this team. What must Pierre Gasly think? What must the staff, the individuals who have banked on Alpine as being like their team going forward, right? To take this team forward. What must be going through their minds right now? I do look, ultimately, yeah, I feel for the staff. They've kept it super stum. They're not making any more statements around this, or Alpine. But free Gasly. I mean, yeah, Ocon got out at the right time. Maybe you could say that. I'm just having a look on Twitter now. Like I'm not really seeing. Well, okay, so there's an article from the race that I'm gonna read. What we know about shock Alpine resignation and fresh chaos. Tell you what, let me screen share this. This is an article from the race, and they tend to, be as well informed as anyone as to what's going on. So let me just get this nice and cropped nicely. Crop that there. What we know, what the race know about shock resignation. There we go. That'll do. Alpine's Formula 1 team has been plunged into fresh chaos sparked by executive advisor Flavio Briatore's controversial driver decisions. Sparked by executive advisor Flavio Briatore's controversial driver decisions. So that first line all but confirms it's to do with it. Immediate resignation of Oli Oakes on Tuesday evening. On Tuesday. So do you reckon he literally resigned this evening? Do you reckon he finished work at 5:30 and then was like, boom, notice in, bosh, quick, get a statement out? Like, I don't know. I would love to know. If you work at Alpine, please, I'd love to know, is that how it played out? Was Oli your boss today? And you had no idea, and now all of a sudden he isn't. I don't know. It's just, what is going on? Oh, God. Comes as Alpine is expected to announce Franco Colapinto replace Jack Doohan from the next race in Imola. Understood that Briatore informed Doohan on Sunday in Miami that it would be replaced, despite previously indicating that Doohan would be kept on until the summer. There was no indication that Oakes' exit was coming, so his resignation seems to be a direct reaction to that. So Briatore, said one thing and did another. It's also known that Briatore's driver dealings had already caused friction in the past and left Oakes compromised. It was Briatore who courted Colapinto last year. Blah, blah, blah. Briatore is called to pull the trigger on finally signing Colapinto as test and reserve driver, with a view to give him Doohan's seat either this year or in 26. It caused inevitable friction given the leadership dynamic at Alpine, which is reminiscent of peak Red Bull era when Helmut Marko had almost unlimited decision-making power and Christian Horner was the public face of the team. Oakes' role as team principal meant it was him rather than Briatore was forced to rationalise decisions in public he did not make. Yeah, I can imagine that must do your head in. If you're team principal and all eyes on you. You're the one in the press conferences, and you're having to justify decisions that you do not back yourself, and you're meant to be team principal, which, you know, the team principal job title comes with a lot of, you know, expectations of ownership and control. And as soon as Flavio's in the picture, you kind of not got that, because now Oakes doesn't really report into De Mayo, he reports into Briatore. Oakes began the front man for things that were put in place before his arrival, or he outright did not agree with, included Ocon's shock early exit and then did last year before the season finale, another brutal decision taken by Briatore. So that was Briatore's work. So Briatore, essentially, it just feels like it's Briatore micromanaging, doing things that you don't agree with. You're meant to be team principal. This is not what I signed up for. This is what this is the vibes it's giving me. Okay, this is the vibes it's giving me. Of course, the fallout as Colapinto's arrival meant Doing was placed under intense scrutiny, which I'm sure wasn't, again, a decision. Well, this all but confirms that wasn't something that that Oakes backed in terms of that approach to make. So there was a difference of opinion between Briatore and Oakes over what to do on drivers, with Oakes a staunch supporter of Doing, even if he had some doubt over his ultimate potential, and was himself a fan of Paul Aaron, who drove for Oakes' high-tech team in junior categories and became an Alpine junior. So yeah, it makes sense that Paul Aaron was, you know, Oakes' decision. Colapinto was Briatore's decision. Primarily, though, Oakes was known to feel that Colapinto's saga had undone some of the work that the team had undertaken to turn things around at the Enstone team. Alpine had been beset by self-inflicted chaos. Irony. Yeah. I mean, there's more to it. You can read the full article at the race. I just... This team, Alpine. We're on the wrong overlay again. Come on. Just... I'm lost for words, but I shouldn't be. It's just, Alpine, what are you doing? Right, I've got a few super chats that I'm going to get to. Thank you for super chatting. You really don't have to, but I do appreciate it. Ian Foot, thank you for your super chat. BB, I don't think Doing / Colapinto is enough for Oakes to resign, but it's probably an indication of Oakes' power within the team relative to Briatore. Yeah, I agree that I don't think it's this decision in isolation. If it's Briatore who made the call to get Ocon out early, Briatore who, you know, has been doing stuff that then Oakes has had to kind of try and support in as the team principal, as the face of the team, but then Briatore is doing stuff he doesn't agree with, I can imagine that is going to roll you up and that's going to annoy you, and yeah, probably feels he's been missold this job as team principal. Like, if you're not going to give Oakes that autonomy and that responsibility, like, don't call him a team principal, because that does come with assumptions that you're going to be doing certain things. Thank you, Wingcap, for the super chat. You've got to be kidding me. We're not. This is not a joke. This is not a drill. Thank you, Mr. Hoppy. At this rate, Gasly will be starting to look elsewhere. He seems to be the only stable part of the team. In addition, I hope Colapinto realises the utter mess of a team he's taking a full-time seat in. And you know what? Like, Alpine clearly have competent staff, because they are able to build a car that most weekends is in the middle, you know, 7th, 6th quickest car, around that kind of range, with a power deficit. Like, the chassis team are actually doing a decent job making that car not just off the back at the back the entire time. David Sanchez, great hire. When it didn't work out for him at McLaren, bringing him in. I think the actual staff, the personnel at Enstone, they've never been the problem. I don't think they've ever been the problem. Yeah, the power unit deficit and that in Vieri, you know, that's not been great. But it's the top tier management. It's been that since Cyril, you know. Since coming up with these plans, or we're going to have a 100 race plan, we're going to blah, 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 all this nonsense, and all talk and no delivering. And Oli's clearly had enough of it. And yeah, I mean, look, Pierre's a top quality driver. We know this. And that, until senior management changes, and you've got so many stakeholders now in that team, all these celebrities, Rory McIlroy, Michael B. Jordan, you know, Rob McElhenney, like, it just goes on and on and on the list. And it's stuff we've said before. You know what I mean? Like, it's no different to the criticism we've laid at Alpine's door before. It's no different. It's the exact same nonsense. Thank you, Mr. Hobby. Again, won't be surprised if we see Colapinto crash into the water turn 17 on the 15th lap in Singapore for definitely no reason at all. Oh, dear. Memories, eh? Memories. Thank you, BB. Oakes obviously didn't want to have to justify the doing switch and felt powerless in the decision making. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think, if you're going to undermine your team principle, don't be surprised if he walks. Simple as. And I do wonder how whether Oli Oakes will spill the tea. Will he? Will he spill the tea? I hope he does. Hello, Dan. Good to see you, mate. And yeah, thank you, Dan, for the super chat. Reynolds wants him to manage Wrexham next season. Well, there you go. That's who saw that coming, Dan? His new Wrexham manager, now they're in Championship. Bosh. I mean, there's not much more to say. There's no more information. So hopefully by tomorrow we get a bit more details. But this is not a drill. Oli Oakes resigns from the Alpine Formula 1 team. Thank you very much for joining me for this impromptu emergency live stream. Alpine, you're at it again. I'd love to say I'm surprised, but I'm not. Drop a like if you enjoyed the stream. Subscribe to the Tommo YouTube channel. Rate 5 stars, Apple Podcast, Spotify if you enjoyed this one. Appreciate you all coming along in the live chat. Benign, Selda, Austin, Safe, OJ Lewis, Matt, Crispy, Hopper, Yoba, William, Camping Dutchman, Kat, Francine, Lolly, Brett, PP, Freya, Mario, Awkward Leon, Halita, Dan, Akila, Mohammed, Kwanda, Doha, Crunchy, Rangfully, Kyle, Ben, and the rest of you. My name's Tommo. Thanks again. Have a good one. Ta-da.